Hello everyone, welcome back to the Man United agenda. This is the weekly gossip column. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Man United agenda. Everyone smash that like button. If you're new, hit that subscribe button as well to Man United agenda. Today I have got OMONDI with me again. How are you, OMONDI?
I'm pleased to be here. You know, it's been a rough weekend, don't you think? But we move on, and looking forward to having a little discussion. I'll put the kettle on and let's have a little gossip, bit of chingwag.
I know, should have brought my 2-litre bottle of Coke, but it could have been a nice little drink and chat. Next time I'll bring the biscuits as well. What do you think?
Yeah. We need TalkMU. He's the biscuit connoisseur of the channel, isn't he? So, I'll ask him for a selection.
Perfect. Yeah, 3 topics to go through today. But before we go on to the nicer news for Manchester United, we'll go on to the more iffy news with Marcus Rashford. He is looking at options, if that is, of course, moving away from the club, perhaps maybe a loan, because he isn't happy the lack of game time, probably, of course, being out of form this season too. So I think he is looking at considering them options at Manchester United. It's been announced as well by top journalists too that he has openly said that. What do you think of that on Monday?
It's a bad timing. I think the timing's really bad to be having this sort of discussion. To be fair, like you said, Maisie, I don't know if you agree with me, but he's been off form for a while. I've been quite critical of his game and his development. I feel that over the last couple of years, he hasn't really developed. He's sort of plateaued. Just little things like he runs his decision making. He's running into traffic a lot. He gives the ball away. I don't see him as a team player. And I think these are areas like mental. This is all mental. I think that's an area where he can improve. And if he can be coached correctly, I see him on a treadmill a lot. Obviously, he's got a lot of pace. I've seen him work on his physicality. He's tried to get a lot stronger as well. So in those areas, I think, that's impressive. But I felt that if he could use his pace and have better decision making, he would be more of an attribute to our squad and our team coming on. And rightly so, I believe over the last few months, he hasn't been performing. Obviously, he's come back from injury and he's had to work his way to get into the team. It's not a given that he should start every game. Regardless, he might be. I mean, sometimes with the contracts, it's not about the highest earners should start. It's about the best performers and the people that work hard in training. And we can see we've got like a conveyor belt at our club where youngsters can always come through. Rashford's one of them. A few years ago, he's come through and started and got a place. I think also some responsibility has to go towards the club to say we can't just put these guys so young on big contracts just because they had some good form, you know. And I don't know. Don't quote me on how much he's earning right now, but I think it's a bit rushed. In the olden days, when I say old days, I think you had to sort of start off cleaning boots and work your way up, and sort of it helped you as well. It gave you there's a bit of hierarchy in the side, and Rashford's got a big name for himself now. He's played international football. But I just feel that like him saying that it's a time and we've just lost a big derby, which is not nice, to come out and read in the paper the next day that Rashford's sort of suggesting he might want to leave. And it came from, I think I've read Romano said that as well. That's a reliable source, isn't it? Yeah. So it's really disappointing for fans. And I think fans will be on his case now. And I think to show character, what you should do is get your head down and work hard and try work your way back into the team. Martial's gone. It's more opportunity for you, you know. I'm really disappointed, to be honest, with him. But I do think we need to cleanse the squad out. And if we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but if he's one of the characters that is not good for the club and not good for the squad, then maybe we need to be looking to move him on. I don't know what. I mean, I want to have a conversation about it because I don't know enough. What do you think?
To be honest, in terms of Marcus Rashford, I think a lot of people, especially when we seen him at 18 years old, we did have such ambitions for him to think, wow, this is going to be one of the best players at Manchester United. He was compared to the likes of Mbappe. So he had such big high expectations. And I think it was, for me, just before COVID, when he had that back injury, I think that was where it really started from. A lot of people think it was much after, but I believe it was from that point where maybe mentally that's where it came wrong. And then since then, there was more downward spirals. There was no trophies being won, losing cup finals, losing Euros finals. And I do genuinely believe if you want to get into club football as a starting 11 player, if you want to get into international football as a starting 11 player, you need to earn that. And you look at the likes of, at the moment, Alanga, he deserves his starting 11 place. He's been doing absolutely brilliant as a winger. Yesterday was different, but it was a lot more isolated for me. But you look at Jadon Sancho and his attributes as a winger look completely different to Marcus Rashford's attributes to a winger, in my personal opinion. You look at, as you've touched on, Rashford creates a lot of traffic. He runs into defenders, but Sancho knows how to juggle his way past them, and that's what you need in that kind of a winger. You need that little bit of a juggle. He's got the pace, but he needs to do the finishing part as well, because he knows he can do that, and it probably will be a mental kind of mind, but this is where now we have got this sports psychologist, and he needs to look at this with Marcus Rashford to say, what is going on here, Marcus? A couple of years ago, you was on fire. Look. And this has happened since. Is there any kind of reason? Is there something outside of football what's creating this? Is it something in the squad what's creating this? Is it the management? Is it the coaching? Just so we can get into to the bottom of it and to try and help Marcus Rashford.
Well, I think if Marcus Rashford needs to do like Michael Jackson and look at the man in the mirror, talk to the man in the mirror and say to himself, I'm asking you to make the change. Sorry, I'm just dropping lyrics now, but it's true. I think he needs to ask himself, well, you're a crucial point of your career. You're at the cuff now. Really, you should be kicking on now and becoming the player that you've got the talent to be. No one can deny that. And I just think to himself, what's going on? Is it because your mate Jesse, the clique Jesse's might be leaving? What is it here? Is it because you're not happy because you're not starting? Okay, if you're not starting, work your way to get back in the side. You can't look at Elanga. Elanga's showing all the attributes. Like you said, you gave a great description about Sancho, how you play the position. People said Rashford can't play on the right. He can only play on the left. Well, why is that? You're a professional footballer. You should be able to develop your game on the right and left, like Elanga and Sancho can do. There's so many things there. I think it's got to the stage now where there is no special treatment for anybody. We are at a club cleanse at the moment, a spring clean, or we're trying to clean the club because there's a lot of issues. And I think with that, things will keep coming to the surface, and you're starting to see certain people's names being called out. Certain people always, in the media, a lot of negativity, and maybe these are the players that maybe need to leave the club. Because if they're not happy, then maybe they need to leave. Even if he was a homegrown player, that kind of thing. We've seen players like Angel Gomez leave, and I'm disappointed with that. At the moment, we've got Derby. They scored a brilliant goal the other day under Rooney. Something like Barcelona, and they got Ravel Morrison playing for them. He left our club early. So not all these young superstars will make it. And Rashford's been really given an opportunity. He's got the second contract after the use. He's moved on. He's stepped up, and he's sort of at the stage now where I feel it's just speculation, but I feel that he's got something to do with his character here. He needs to slap himself and remember where he comes from, because it's like a prima donna kind of thing, in my opinion. Stop it. Put your head down. Dye your hair back to normal. Get a normal haircut, and just put your head down and start working for the team. And you can be criticised, and you need to really develop your game. Otherwise, it's not going to work for you at Manchester United, and we can't afford to be having players like on that sort of wage with not performing. He came on yesterday, hardly had any touches, hardly done anything constructive. When he did get the ball, he wasn't driving at anyone. He couldn't. He didn't have it in his locker to do that. So something's wrong. Spiritually, we can see that. Anyone watching the game can see that he hasn't got that sort of confidence anymore. So whatever the problem is, we won't know. Just fix it up inside the club. And if Ralph says he has to leave, or the Man United think he has to leave, and he's talking to his agent, all that kind of thing, it's all coming out, being leaked out, then maybe he has to go. Is it last thing, is it a ploy to get another contract? I think his contract runs out to 2023.
2023, his contract runs out. And I think at the moment, no, don't do anything with his contract, in my personal opinion. Could it be a good idea, though, maybe even a loan? It worked with Jesse Lingard. He brought his form back through that way. Could a loan move potentially be good for Marcus Rashford?
In a word, no, because when you're 24, 25 years old, I don't think loans are going to be good. No, you should have shown by now whether you're on it or not, in my opinion. Loans are good for like players from 18 to maybe 21, 22 max. Beyond that, if you haven't shown, I think some players, through that sort of 4 or 5 years, that's the development stage. Some players are good at 18 and show a lot of stuff. Some players need until like Lingard to the 20, 21, 22 to show their real potential. And I think Rashford's shown now the sort of player is going on loan, someone on that wage, everything else. He needs to be sold or suck it up and work his way back into the side.
Yeah, I completely agree with every single point you've made, to be honest. And hopefully, fingers crossed, something does happen with Marcus Rashford, because a lot of things have come out. Not just that, Marcus Rashford has said a journalist was completely wrong about stuff they were saying about him. And then the journalist hit back at Rashford saying, no, this is correct, Marcus Rashford. So there is a lot of speculations. It's not just the one story. There's loads of stories. We all know Manchester United about stories, but especially when you look at things like Fabrizio announcing it, you look at things where a journalist sits back and says, no, this is true. It really does raise alarm bells for me. And some people even say, oh, you're okay to get back to this one, but if you've not got back to the other ones, does that mean the other ones are true? And people will start to think that in their mind as well.
The seed was planted a few months ago. There was a journalist who gave an interview saying that Rashford could want to leave, and it's a few months later, hey presto, he wants to possibly leave. So yeah, I don't know. It's all, look, players come and go. We have to remember that, and it's all about the club. And we need fixing. The club needs fixing. If you're not on board with it, then you might have to leave. And we can get good, decent money for him. Not as much as we could have got when he was on fire and everything else, but you can still get 30, 40, 50 million for a young international player like that.
Yes, exactly. Let's go through a couple of the comments and then we'll go on to the next point. Hello there to Niall. Thank you for tuning in. Hello there to TalkMU. I hope you're well. Just as Niall has said, hit that like button and the subscribe button if you're new. Hello there to Matthew. Thank you for tuning in. Niall, as long as the biscuits are cream custard, then you're both on. We'll send them in. Brilliant. Solo, hello to you, Solo. Thank you for tuning in. Niall has a question. Sorry on social media before you went on here, but what are the thoughts of Man United, the only club who are interested in selling shirts where the other clubs are more ambitious? Have you heard anything about that on Monday?
Well, this is the way you generate money, isn't it? You've got merchandise and all this thing. These are other factors. If you just relied on the fans turning up in the stadiums, we probably would be, because we've got a big stadium. But there's other factors there that how clubs make their money. And we do sell a lot of shirts in the Far East and all around the world. You see it everywhere you go. So I don't know what the question is there. There is a problem with our club, which needs fixing. When we measure up to teams, we played a team yesterday who are beyond us right now. Whether it's down, we played them in midweek with the under-18s, got beat 5-1. Played senior club squad plays them, gets beat 4-1. I don't know about the women's. Do you know about the women's? They played each other recently?
Yeah, the women's have been playing each other recently. We actually had 2 derbies in 2 weeks. Oh, wow. We played Manchester City 4 times this season.
What was the score with the women's?
We got battered 4-1.
Well, there you go. So that tells you everything you need to know. And then you look at the ambition of Man City, what they've been doing in the local area compared to Man United. Look at the board. Look at what the intention of the owners are. There's so many factors that's what we should be measuring up to. Because this team, Manchester City, unfortunately, as much as they are our rivals, in every department, from the bottom to the top of the club, they are beating us and slapping us to bits,
Exactly. I completely agree with that 100%. Hello there to Stumpers. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're well. And I'm sorry to hear about how you're feeling. I do hope that you are okay. Niall, I said, think he's his name, Nunes. That is from Benfica. Would you both take him? Yes, he is Benfica's record signing. He's actually quite young as well, born in 1999, so he's only 22. So he is going. This is a player what Manchester United, as a scout, needs to identify. You need to get this kind of player before his prime, bring him to the Premier League. He's a striker. He's doing quite well at the moment in terms of his stats. 21 league games, 20 goals. So he's averaging out near enough a goal a game. We, of course, that can always improve, but it shows that he is a deadly finisher. And knowing the situation with Man United, the Cavani's out of a contract in the summer. We have got Ronaldo there too, who could potentially be leaving if we don't get Champions League football. Nunes would be a good shout. I think he's a brilliant striker, an overall great striker, and I think it would be a good for him to have a challenge in the Premier League just about when he hits his prime. So what do you think about that on Monday? Because I think it would be a good shout for him.
It's just one of a number of players that we're probably interested in. Like you just said, they're MAISEY, but it's crucial. A lot of players will be leaving Man United soon, so we do need to bring in quality players. But the difference is now, as we were just comparing to Manchester City, like you just said, we need to scout him to be right. So we can't say, well, he's good. He's got a goal a game. We can't just pick him for every. We have to pick what's best with a philosophy. We played a team yesterday with a philosophy of play. So you have to get the right players in to fit into that philosophy of play, that style of play going forward. We need to do the same. We can't just pick. We're not playing Championship Manager where you just buy someone because they've got good stats or whatever. They've got to have the right mentality.
That's the difference. We don't have a plan, whereas Man City have a 10-year plan, and they know what suits Manchester City. And I'd say this is why they probably haven't gone for the likes of Haaland. As much as Haaland is a brilliant, brilliant striker, his stats are brilliant. I don't think he necessarily suits Manchester City's plans because it's come out that Haaland wants to be like Zlatan, move around quite a lot. And does that suit Manchester City's plans short term? No, they want younger players to come in long term. So Haaland wouldn't suit Manchester City's criteria.
Yeah, that's a good shout there. I think they are only buying players that fit their system, and it's a team game. It's not an individual game. And like maybe this comment earlier was talking about selling shirts. We're not looking to buy players to sell shirts anymore. I like the direction we're going in. We're fixing things up, and it's a big job to do. And that means sometimes you look at players like Nunes at Benfica. Yeah, he scored a lot of goals. Yeah, he looks like one of the hot boys, but he's one of many. So you have to really scout them and decide which one is the best player who wants to play for Man United, because we've made so many mistakes in the transfer market. We spent so much money. We need to make sensible transfers from now on and do it around the system. So whoever the new manager is, starts talking to them now and saying to them, what's the system? What sort of players do we need to bring into the club, which are going to enhance the squad? Simple as that.
Yeah. Andrew has said Marcus is one of the biggest non-triers. Cheerio. So that's his fan there. He is one of the most predictable players I have seen. No football brain move. Marcus has a broken to sprint since Xmas. Matthew has said, I think a world-class coach, Rashford, will improve, which will be a good shout. Andrew, too lazy to be a winger, too weak with a back goal to be a striker. Niall said, I said this on another channel a few months back. I believe the problem with Rashford, yes, he has had a bad injury and he's recovered from an injury. For me, he hasn't been the same player since. Andrew, no one ever considers the obvious is that he is overrated to begin with. So, yeah, we'll go through a couple more of the comments a little bit later on. But hello there to Matana United. Thank you for tuning in. And hello there to Anthony as well. Thank you there for tuning in as well. We'll go through a couple more of the comments a little bit later on, but we'll go through on to the next topic, which is about Mata. Mata's contract, as well as a couple of others, is running out in the summer. And he's looking at going to Spain. A lot of people did think that Mata only extended his contract due to the fact he wants to do his coaching badges. So looking at that with Mata, he wants to leave to go to Spain, so he wants to go to a Spanish club. That shows to me more. Is it perhaps he wanted to stay at Manchester United not for the coaching badges? He potentially wanted to see if he could get that extra bit more game time. But what do you think about Mata leaving? Because probably it is the best choice. It reduces the wage bill there as well.
Look, I'm different. I might be controversial sometimes in my opinion on certain footballers. I see everyone sees it's like beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and how you want your club to play football, and what sort of players you want, and how to utilize them and thing. And that's why people have a go at me when I say Matic is a great player. I think he should be playing week in, week out. He's got that sort of game, you know. But I think the same applies for Mata. I think Mata's one of the best players in his position in the Premiership history. People might say, well, come on, you know, but up there with Silva, similar player, you know. He's got drive. You look at his movement. I'm really admire the way he plays the game. He's very intelligent. He doesn't, like you say, you don't have to have electric pace, because when you're one step ahead of everyone else with your ability, you can scan the pitch. You know what you're doing. You come on. You make the team tick. It's like when Paul Scholes used to play. I used to watch him and think, wow, he really makes us tick. The same applies with Mata. When Mata comes on the pitch, his movement is popping. He's not selfish. He's got great personality, and that shows in his football as well. In his football game, it's all about team with him. He's got that ability. So I really rate him as a player. And I still think he could have, the last couple of seasons, he could have contributed a lot more to the squad. But obviously, he wasn't even played. And the talk about him being a coach, for example, and staying, I was okay, fair enough, that's why he's staying. But obviously he realized he's got a lot left to give, and he's probably doing it in training still, but for some reason he's not playing on the pitch. And I think he, like Cavani, like Ronaldo, these players got a lot of experience, and when they do come on and when they click, they can keep the ball, they can in certain situations hold it up a lot better, and retain the ball for the club and for the side. And that's really important. I like Mata. I think he should have played a hell of a lot more, and it'd be disappointed for him to go. But I want to salute him. A bit like Herrera as well. These Spanish players that come over here. And Herrera was a great character. He gave it all for the club. He was, you know, a real professional player. And players like that will be sorely missed based on what we're seeing now with maybe a negative attitude with certain players coming through. So Mata should get a bow. The fans should really appreciate what a player he was, and it just so unfortunate he wasn't able to demonstrate more for the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, I do really like Mata as a player, but I do feel like, especially when he's not getting the game time, it's not fair for him to stay, have that 1 year extra contract. It's especially if he's not getting the game time. I haven't even hardly seen him at all for Manchester United. I don't even see him on training pictures, even, to be honest. The difference is with Mata compared to other players, and this is what I always say, that it's not always about skill to be a brilliant footballer. You've got to have the football IQ. And that is what Mata has compared to a lot of the players at Manchester United. He has the IQ. He works the football. He works the ball through his brain. He knows what he's doing around the pitch. He knows what moves are the best, because he's so experienced. He's a leader on the pitch there as well. And I think he would have been absolutely brilliant for the likes of like Hannibal to do his one-on-one training with the likes of Mata, because that would have been a brilliant show. They played two similar positions.
Yeah, totally. I mean, yeah, like you just said it all. I mean, Mata, class player. And that's why I really like the idea of like the young players coming up, seeing Cavani, working with him, Ronaldo, working with Mata. These are top draw players, and it teaches you a certain game, because in an English game, sometimes it's a bit rush, and you know, don't we retain the ball? But now the levels have gone up. Premiership's the best it's ever been, and it's thanks to players like the Spanish players coming over and playing a sort of certain brand of football. We see in Pep yesterday, they play a certain brand of football, and there's different styles. There's different. If you look around the Premiership, there's different styles of football, different styles of the game. You know, which have been tweaked. You know, so we got to find our identity, and I think it's so unfortunate that players like Mata haven't been a part of that, because I think, like I say, I keep repeating it, he still till this day, forget about age, because it doesn't matter when you talk about playing Cavani or Ronaldo, but suddenly when you play Matic and Mata, there's an issue all of a sudden. Oh, they can't do it. But I think the issue is, if you keep the ball, these players will shine and they won't get tired. Apparently we were tired yesterday after 60 minutes. The fit young players were tired yesterday after 60 minutes because they're chasing the ball for so long. But if we were able to keep the ball, then the other side would be quite blowing, so out their arse. So I just think players like that, you can't have it both ways. You can't have players on the ball, players in the squad say, yeah, they're fit, they can do beat tests, but they can't keep hold of the ball because you can't run for 90 minutes. This is a top. They're top athletes, these guys. So Mata and Matic on the pitch would help us keep the ball. And then when we got the ball, we won't be burnt out as much. It just, come on, there's got to be some balance there.
Yes, and I also would like to have seen a bit more of a Mata and Donny partnership because they've both got such good levels there at the football IQ, and I think they both can get into these narrow spaces, and sometimes this is what we truly need, especially when you're playing these kind of teams like Burnley and these teams like Southampton who are quite well defensively structured. You need them kind of players who are good at going narrow. So if you've got like Mata on the left, Donny on the right, for instance, them going both there narrow like that, you could easily sniff out these kind of players, and sometimes this is where Manchester United are going wrong, where they're missing.
You know what, Maisie? When Ralph first came to the club, we played young boys. And I think we'd already qualified, I think. We were playing at home. I'm sure he started with Donny and Mata in the 4-2-2-2-2, whatever system that he was playing back then. And I thought, wow. So it shows you he wants ball players in there with intelligence who don't need to tackle because they're good ball players and just get himself in position and back in shape when it really matters. And obviously, I think we drew the game or they went 1-0 up, whatever. But it was a good, for me, that represented saying something to me like, wow, Ralph has gone from playing two sort of so-called pigeonholed workers or tacklers in there to Matic, to Mata and Donny, who are absolute ballers, And I thought that was really refreshing to see. So hopefully going forward, we will get more ball-playing players like, I'm throwing out names, just like Ruben Neves, for example. He's a good player, ball-playing player. Maybe we need those sort of players in our side. Gundogan from City, for example. He's a good player. Oh, but if he was at Man United, they'd probably say, oh, he's too small. Oh, he's going to blow out after 20 minutes. Or, it's what I'm saying. It's the system that counts. And if you keep the ball, like Ralph wants, he wants to control the play, you need to have ball players in there. Unfortunately, Fred and McTominay, players like that, they're not ball players.
Yes. Let's go through a couple more of the comments there as well. Anthony has a good question here. There is something wrong at Man United? What do you think? Is it the board or the players or the coaching staff? It's a hard one to say. It's hard to pin it out, to be fairly honest, but it's probably a lot more higher up than what people think because it's been an underlying problem for many, many years at the club. So, especially if one half gets changed, everything needs to be changed at the club to actually try and get some success. But if you agree with that, Monday.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, I mean, the measuring stick is Manchester City, and in all areas, on the pitch, they're beating us, and upstairs and the board, in other areas, they're beating us as well. So that's the level you want to get to. So we have to look at that model and say, right, we need to sort of match that, and we're not.
Yes. Andrew said we missed out on the one we needed who just went to Man City, Julian Alvarez. Yes, don't remind me on that. I was very, very angry on a stream when I found out Alvarez went to Man City. Niall Mays saw on the group chat, the question I meant was, what's your thoughts on with Chelsea, City, Liverpool about winning trophies? As for United, it's about selling shirts. Yeah, we've touched on that a little bit, and we all know that it is, of course, more of the it's just more profit based, and we need to go back to our winning ways with at Manchester United, and we need this serious rebuild when it comes to the summer. All I can say, I need to be optimistic for the summer. Fingers crossed, to be fairly honest. Matana said, or maybe we're going through like the Liverpool curse and might end after 30 years in 2040. Don't say that. You're breaking my heart. You're breaking my heart. Niall said, I did say that a while back, Mason, on Monday. That's due to his age and edging towards his career. I think it's the best choice for him, which would help Mata find a club closer to home. Andrew said, Mata is class, but time has come. Niall has said, great player, Mata, but the downside is his age and edging towards end of his career. Great ability, highly rated. It would work both parties if he found a club in Spain which he will call home. Andrew said Matt will be much more effective if our players weren't such morons around him. That's a fair point, Andrew. Very fair point.
Andrew's on fire right now.
He is. He's spitting facts. Hello there, Mr. B. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you're well.
Can we wish Mr. B a happy birthday? I mean, it melted my heart to see how his family bigged him up. He's well loved.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Mr. B. I'll buy you a piece of cake when I see you. Let me know what cake you like. If you like a Victoria sponge or a chocolate one, the best. I'll buy you a cake. I won't let everyone know though while I write on the writing though. Don't worry, Mr. B.
Yeah. That's a secret.
Hello there to Olaf. Thank you for tuning in. Are you lot preparing yourselves for Europa Conference League? It's not got that bad yet, Olaf. Not got that bad yet. We're still competing for top 4, so we'll just have to remain optimistic. Andrew, our passers can't run, but our runners can't pass. That is a very true point.
Pow. Andrew's on fire. I'm telling you.
Fire.
Lyrics.
Yeah, that was actually a very good comment there from Andrew. It was very true though as well. Ola, I am looking forward to you lot to getting your lot at Anfield and we smash you 5 or 6. That's something I'm not looking forward to if that is the case. Andrew, I've heard that our transfer budget will be 80 million if we qualify for the Champions League, or 50 million if we don't qualify. That is not good at all.
It's not always about funds. We got to learn. It's not always about money. It's about sensible transfers. And I'm happy about the players that are coming back off loan and coming back through the youth team. And with a spine of senior players, you need that balance. So I think we need to be more sensible now going forward.
Mm-hmm. Legend has said, Mata is a baller. Surprised he's not selected more. Yep, I completely agree. Ola said, you are not competing for top 4. We're in 5th at the moment, so we're still technically competing. Only 1 point from 4th, so we just still have to remain optimistic. Sargon has said, I won't be watching Thursday football. I'd rather take up a new hobby. And Akhil has said, we can get a fridge for 80 million. Yep, that is true. Ola said, hello, OMONDI. Who do you consider to be your spine?
I don't know. At the end of the season, we have to assess that. But you know what a spine is. You need a good spine throughout any team, and it's experience and quality players throughout the middle of the team. So that'd be centre back, centre midfield, and someone like a Bruno or a good striker up front. Yes. Tends to be the spine of a team, and that carries through. And then with the rest of it, you can fit in other players within that spine. When Alan Hansen said you can't win anything with kids, we had a spine. We got rid of Hughes, Kanchelskis, and Ince, and you're thinking, wow, what are we going to do now? But with that, we incorporated the youngsters around that who were hungry and wanted to impress, and they were really quality as well. They got the opportunity, and we ended up winning the league. You know, during the era where you were waiting for 30 years to win one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Matthew has said we need at least 8 players, which I agree with. But let's go on to the final topic, mentioning players, and that was about our youth team. We have sealed a deal with Brighton's youth academy for their defensive midfielder, Collyer. 18 years old, defensive midfielder. So Manchester United, of course, building there for the future with a defensive midfielder, and he has been the captain for both England under 16s, both England under 17s as well. It has been announced that he has been training with Manchester United for the past month following the end of his contract at Brighton, and he's finally put the pen to the paper at Old Trafford. He has signed a professional termed agreement with Man United, having impressed at a trial in the friendly at Huddersfield, and we managed to beat our competitors, Chelsea, in terms of getting him signed for our youth team. What do you think of that, Amanda?
I'm really pleased. I think this is what I'm saying. All this thing about spending money, we have to make sensible signings. And I think going forward, we need players that fit the bill for Man United. He's young, he's English, he can develop at the club as well. He'd be a homegrown player now that he's signed at 18 years old. I have not seen him play but obviously he's highly regarded, highly rated. He's been in England set up all the way up. So it's another player to add to our academy and add to our squad. And I think percentage-wise, the more quality players, youth players we have coming through who can develop under our new system that we employ once a new manager comes in, or even under Ralph, and that's all managed. I like how we're putting things together. Obviously people haven't seen him play, but the people behind the scenes who follow youth football or know these things at that grassroots level would know enough. And hopefully our scouts have made a good decision here with this boy. And we wish him all luck. Welcome to the club, young man.
Yes, I am looking forward to seeing him come into the Manchester United squad. And him being signed as well does raise some questions here about Gardner. Does this mean he's coming through to the first team in the summer?
This is a possibility. Like you're saying, we have to look at the balance of the squad. I was asked earlier about the spine of the squad as well. So when you got Garner playing really high level football in the Championship and about stepping up, I think he can make that step up, and he's proven it. It's a great experience. We talked earlier about the age of loan signings. Not someone who's like Rashford's age, but Garner fits the bill. He's in that region now where he shouldn't go on loan anymore. He should have had enough 2 seasons on loan. Well, 1.5 seasons at Nottingham Forest. He also was on loan elsewhere in the Championship. He's proven himself to be worthy of a place now. And when it comes to pre-season, he can meet the new manager and see if he can impress, and then the decision can be made whether he can fit into the squad. And hopefully he can, because that would just be a great model of how we develop our players and bring them through. So he's always been talented. He's always been someone maybe we've considered for the future, and now with that, send him on loan. And good experience. It was the right club for him, because we took him from a club earlier and took him back to Nottingham Forest last season, and he's gone there again, and he's really played good football. We've seen him in the FA Cup against Arsenal, and they've gone quite far in the FA Cup, and they're really playing good football under their manager as well. So Garner, is a player that could really is in contention, and this youngster as well, 18-year-old youngster, and Hannibal and Zidane and Savage's son. There's a few players now which are starting to we need to take note of, and they're going forward. Who knows what the system will be next year? Ajax, for example, they got Ryan, youngster called Ryan Gravison or something. I've been following him since he was 16 years old. He's playing Champions League football at 18, 19 years old now. Highly regarded player, 6'2", 3. They call him new Rijkaard, but he's had opportunity in the first team squad at 18, from 17, 18, 19, as Ajax do. So that shows you can't be afraid of bringing these players in. When they're ready, when they're talented enough, give them the opportunity, and they will, seize it, guaranteed.
Yes, Ajax is very, very good in terms of bringing their youth through. There is one in particular for me who does stand out from the academy from Ajax, and this is stuff what I really do love, and I do love the Ajax system perhaps one day to come to Manchester United. Player called Timber there at Man United. He's only 20 years old, and he actually came into the squad. I think he was roughly around 17 years old as well, because he came from in 2019. So you look at things like that, and it just shows if you are good enough, you can get in the starting 11 place, because he's even now a starting 11 player for the Netherlands. So it just shows how much he's rated, not just by the Ajax team and Ten Hag, it's also rated by the Netherlands international team as well, and stuff like that. When young players work hard, get to the starting 11 places for both club and country, it's rewarding, and nothing feels better, I can imagine, as a young player to represent both your club and country.
There's another guy as well, I forget his name, but he's just been set up for the 24-man provisional squad for Argentina. The Spanish/Argentinian guy who plays in under-18s. Someone in the comments remember his name. I can't remember his name right now. But this is the international senior squad, and he hasn't played senior football. He's playing under-18s. He's killing it. He's the Spanish guy. He plays left-footed guy, I think, winger. Quick as hell. Whoever he is, someone will tell you in the comments. He's just been signed up for the international squad for Argentina. So that just speaks volumes. The youth is the way we are. That's the identity of Manchester United, and hopefully now we're going to start to develop that as well, with that balance of squad players, senior players as well.
Yes. What we'll do before we wrap up, we'll go for last couple of comments here in the chat. Hello there to Football United TV, Matt. I hope you're well. Ola has said, I am old enough to recall our league titles and European cups in the 80s. We back for the next 30 years. Legend has said Arsenal's not going to slip. We have got 3 games and we can't lose those 3 and we'll be still 4th. Now said Collyer, I'm hearing is highly rated, building the future, and it's a positive. I will play some of the under 23s in the remaining games. Could do a job, slightly worried they'd suffer the burnout. Rebel's in the chat. Hello to Rebel. I hope you're well. It seems we have become Apology United. Sancho latest to send the sorries for the squad's dismissal performance yesterday. Yep, I have seen it all. Matt has said Rashford should switch his careers to the House of Lords, backbencher to the Prime Minister. Justice Solo has said 7 people in the chat. Please hit that like button. And if you're new to the Man United agenda, smash that subscribe button. I think Mr. B wants a United cake. You spoiled my surprise now, Mr. B. That's exactly what I was going to get you.
Greedy. Too greedy.
Akila said, we potentially have Fred, McTominay and Bruno in the midfield in the summer. Others may all leave. Gardner may be getting into the squad, which is, that is very, very true. He could potentially get in. Matt has said, last 15 minutes of the game, we have 8% possession. That's disgraceful, especially for a Derby day game. And I completely agree. It was awful to watch. Absolutely awful. Matthew said that journalist is Christian Falk, who's a tier 1 journalist.
Yeah.
Rebel said, bounce off the squad is that any number from 7 to 12 of the first team squad won't be here next season on Monday. There is major rubbish impersonal coming out next season. Niall thoughts on the whole Man City had like 90% possession on Sunday. That said, all a mess from top to bottom. Need to change upstairs and downstairs behind closed doors. Yep, I completely agree with that comment there. Niall, 100%. Amateur footballer. I think it's time.
Hold on. Let's big up amateur footballer, please.
Yes.
Yeah, big him up. Good brethren of mine, do so much good stuff for grassroots and down in South London. Enough respect to you.
Hello, amateur footballer. Thank you for tuning in. I think it's time for him to go. He's done well for United, but he needs to get his career back on track. Yes, that is very, very true indeed. He does need to. Loads of comments here as well. Kay Slate is also in the chat. It's time we fully realise that we need to take a step back in order to build and live those results. Yes, so we'll end it here now. We have got another show at 8 o'clock, so stay tuned to the Man United agenda. Hit that like button, and if you're new, hit the subscribe button. And on Monday, thank you for coming on.
Maisie, thank you again. I hope to get that phone call. I look forward to my secretary is always, I always say, has Maisie called? I can start panicking, So get me on more often. I love being here on a Monday night with you.
Yes, I'll definitely make sure I get you on as much as possible because I absolutely love having you on.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
By the way, I think Mr. B wants a Dundee cake for his birthday.
Dundee cake?
Dundee cake, yeah.
Thank you so much, Amateur Football. Means so much there. Thank you.
Tune in to his channel, Amateur Football. Go and look at what they're doing. It's great stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we will do that. I will definitely have a check at the end of the stream as well. Have a check of the channel. Yep, everyone stay tuned for 8 o'clock and we'll see you soon. It's a goodbye for now.
And it's goodbye from me.